Let's talk about something we all deal with every single second of every day, our emotions. But we're going to look at them from a really different angle.
So let me just start by asking you this. When you feel that flash of anger, or that little sting of jealousy, or, that warmth of affection, do you ever stop to think, where does that actually come from? Is it really you?
Because what if they aren't yours at all? What if your emotions are basically ancient software, little programs coded into your DNA millions of years ago, and they're still running your life today? Okay, let's get into it.
To really get this, we've got to travel back in time, way back. We need to look at the life or death problems our ancestors were up against constantly, because the solutions they found, well, they became the emotions we feel right now.
It all boils down to Darwin's amazingly simple blueprint for how life changes. First, you've got superabundance. Nature just makes way more babies than can ever survive. Second, there's variation. All those babies are a little bit different from each other. And third, you have selection. The ones with the traits that give them a slight edge, they're the ones who make it and pass those winning traits along.
And here's the absolute key. That winning trait that gets passed on is called an adaptation. Think of it like a genetic solution to a very specific problem, a selection pressure, as scientists call it. And believe it or not, our emotions are some of the most powerful adaptations we have.
And this is where it all just snaps into focus. I mean, look at this. The problem, avoiding poisonous plants. The solution, an automatic feeling of disgust at bitter tastes. The problem, finding food packed with energy. The solution, getting a huge hit of pleasure from anything sweet. Avoiding predators, hardwired a fear of snakes, spiders, and the dark right into our brains. And it's not just about staying alive. How do you protect a partnership? The program of jealousy kicks in. How do you make sure we take care of our helpless infants? A massive wave of affection gets triggered by their big eyes and round faces. You see? These aren't just random feelings. They are time-tested, battle-hardened survival strategies.
Okay, but hold on, because the rabbit hole goes way deeper. To really truly understand this, you kind of have to flip your entire view of who's in charge, which brings us to this wild idea of the selfish gene. This quote just turns everything upside down, doesn't it? We like to think, my genes are here to serve me, but the modern evolutionary view says, nope, it's the other way around. You are here to serve your genes. They are the immortal code, the replicators. Our bodies, we're just the temporary survival machines, the vehicles they build to shuttle themselves into the future.
And here it is, the master code. This isn't some blueprint that's working for you. You are the machine that's working for it. The one and only goal of these genes is just to make more copies of themselves. That's it.
So, if your body is the vehicle, then what's steering it? What's the gas pedal and the brake? It's your emotions. Fear screams at the vehicle to slam on the brakes. Desire tells it to floor it. Love tells it to guard its passengers at all costs. Your feelings are just the gene's way of remote controlling you to make sure they get passed on.
All right, so for our ancestors, the biggest dangers weren't always a snake in the grass or a poisonous berry. A lot of the time, the biggest danger was other people. Surviving meant playing a very complex social game.
We are what you'd call an ultra-social species. Our entire success as a species was built on being able to cooperate, build teams, and deal with conflict. And that social pressure cooker created a whole new set of emotional programs.
And this isn't just some new human invention. The drive to keep the peace and fix relationships runs deep in our primate family. I mean, look at this, two chimps making up after a fight. For any social animal, fixing a broken friendship isn't just a nice thing to do, it's a matter of survival.
We have our own versions of this, and they're usually totally unconscious. Ever notice that quick little up and down flash of your eyebrows when you see someone you know? It's an automatic signal that says, I recognize you, I'm not a threat. And get this, it's been seen in literally every culture on the planet. It's a tiny, ancient piece of social software, and it's still running. Emotions also became the tools we use to figure out where we stand in the group. Feeling pride and showing it, that signals high status. On the flip side, feeling embarrassment or shame is basically an apology signal. It tells everyone, oops, I messed up, I know my place, and it helps smooth things over. These feelings are the oil that keeps the social engine from seizing up. And this fight for status, it's a fundamental force of nature. Just look at these elephant seals in a brutal fight for dominance. The winner here gets the mating rights, making sure his genes, the ones for being big and aggressive, get passed on. Our chimp cousins do the same thing, but often with more bluff and bluster than an actual fight. This threat display is pure emotional theater.
It's a negotiation. It's a way of saying, I'm the boss, back off, without having to risk a real, costly battle.
But maybe the biggest social problem we ever faced was actually a result of our own success. As our brains got bigger, babies had to be born earlier in their development, when they were completely and utterly helpless. This created a massive, massive evolutionary problem. And the solution? A super powerful emotional program for taking care of them. Our brains are literally wired to find babies adorable. Those specific cute features, the big eyes, the large forehead, the tiny chin, they're not just cute for no reason. They are specific triggers that unleash a flood of affection and protective urges in us. It's an adaptation, pure and simple, designed to make sure we stick around and protect our investment, which is, of course, our genes.
So that brings us to today. We're living in this world of smartphones and social media and space travel, but we're doing it all with software that was written for surviving on the African savanna. And well, that mismatch can lead to some interesting results.
So many of these ancient programs just run on autopilot. They're reflexes that are faster than thought. And nobody knew this better than Charles Darwin himself, thanks to a pretty memorable trip to the zoo.
Darwin's own words say it all, right? His logical, modern brain knew he was perfectly safe. He understood the glass was thick. But that ancient survival program, the one that just sees a snake and screams danger, it just completely took over. His will and reason, as he said, were powerless. That right there is your ancient brain winning.
So, here's the main thing to take away from all of this. Your emotions aren't just random noise. That gut feeling of disgust, that hot flash of jealousy, that cold prickle of fear, they are not flaws in your system. They are echoes. They are messages from a world long gone, a world where those exact feelings meant the difference between passing on your genes or becoming lunch.
Which leaves us with one last, really mind-blowing question. If our emotions really are just a kind of program, and we're finally starting to understand how that program works, does that mean we can learn to take the steering wheel? Can we actually learn to rewrite the code?